Welcome to this Wednesday devotional. We are in Leviticus 25, which is likely my favorite part of Leviticus. In here we see an upping of the ante. This Sabbath we have heard so much about, taking the seventh day to rest, to not work, a Sabbath for God. The Lord now says to count years, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and on that seventh year, the land gets a Sabbath. That year, we do not plant and reap. For 6 years we can sow, and for 6 years we can prune, but on the seventh year, the land itself rests to the Lord. Now the people are still able to eat what their livestock and crops produce unintendedly. But it is not work. It is not meant for profit. And this idea of profit is going to come up again. And so we then count more and more. And we consecrate the 50th year and proclaim liberty throughout the land to all of its inhabitants. The 50th year shall be a jubilee, the year of jubilee. I would like to point out some beautiful aspects of the year of Jubilee. Prices are to be fair. We are not to take advantage of each other. We are not to do this for profit. Everyone is to have the ability to redeem themselves, to redeem their debts, to redeem their property. And if they can't, their family has the right to redeem it for them at a truly fair price, not for profit or for gain or for interest. God also chimes in verse 23, the land must not be sold permanently because the land is His, and we merely reside in the land as foreigners and strangers. He continues on and talks about property, about who has the rights and what is lost should be given back. If it was a hard time these past years, this is to be given an opportunity. Redemption over and over and over again. Verse 36, do not take interest or any profit from them, but fear your God. You must not lend them money at interest or sell them food at profit. I am the Lord your God. In this year, people are to celebrate as lives are restored, as we work together, not for gain against one another, but to live in harmony. Slaves around and residents and foreigners, this is to be a year where people can make things right. The last couple verses. If someone is not redeemed in any of these ways, they and their children are to be released in the year of Jubilee. Even if these people cannot make it themselves, even if they do not have family or friends who can do it for them, in these 50 verses of ways for people to become whole again, even if they cannot do that, they are just to be released. What a beautiful idea for a year. How challenging to think of giving up an entire year of our lives, of profit, of work, to just bask in what has already been given, what naturally occurs. And in that year to treat others fairly, to give them an opportunity to get back what they've lost. In a culture where we are so crippled by debt, whether it be mortgages or school debt, which are at least advantageous, but credit card debt, the weekly and monthly billings, the amount of people who work nonstop just to stay above, and even then often can fall behind. And sometimes we can see this reality as unfortunate, but the way it is, or that it's somebody's work ethic or their choices throughout life. And we can lose our empathy for people who have fallen through the cracks or are struggling to get by. And here we see God's heart for his people, God's heart for the world, that there would just be natural times taken where we could reset, where we could give grace to one another, where failings could be forgiven, and we are treated as equal. So Lord, I pray that you would give us your heart, that we would see this radical idea, that we would see this crazy time, and we would reflect on that. How we as individuals in a community, how do we be the people of this God? Not just focused on the spiritual, but on living life well, fairly, graciously, miraculously, in a way that makes no sense to the world, but is a gift from you. Amen.